Big exciting news to start your afternoon as the second stimulus check is now in play in the CR. The question is will there be a CR? Or will the government shut down? Or will they do extension? Or, how much is a stimulus check? Suddenly deciding between Nancy Pelosi's hairstyles is one of the easiest decisions we can make, because congressional leaders, both Republicans and Democrats, can't agree upon anything. And they can't even agree upon what was offered or not offered. But the great news as we start the afternoon is that the president has indicated he will go $1,200 to $2,000 on a stimulus check. Yes. Second, there's new indications that there's eviction moratorium now in play for the second stimulus package. Oh yes, new this afternoon. The good news continues. Rent money is being proposed in the second stimulus package as well. And foreclosure moratorium finally additionally. The purple power has ramped up and the messages has been heard. Eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, and a stimulus check, a real stimulus check, at $1,200 or more are now all in play. The question is whether they're going to go to the playground or they're actually going to get it done. Meantime, $2,400 if you're on SSI and SSDI. Really exciting. I'm going to go over those details as well. And more cities and states across the country are sending out stimulus checks, eviction and doing really great things for rent stimulus. The volunteers are stepping up with incredible great details and breaking news across the board. I'm just really excited you're here. And, do you like my hairstyle? This is Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited you're here when I'm able to deliver the incredible great news that the three things that you and I and the Purple Power have been pushing for no less than a week are now all finally in play in the CR. Stimulus check, more than $1,200, of course. Eviction moratorium, and mortgage forbearance. Oh, and also UI PUA extension. We're getting good here. We just got to get it done. So please subscribe. Meantime, I'm getting viewers money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now. And if you did not tune in to Purple Power Live last night, it was lit. Darling, it was lit. I was covering states across the board that may not have rent stimulus from their city or county or state, but viewers were getting free rent, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 because of organizations we've identified that are sending out the money. Meantime, new organizations are sending out gifts and food around the clock to viewers of this channel as well. So this is all real exciting news. Please subscribe because I'm trying to get you this thousands of dollars of money right now and ultimately not 5 weeks from now, despite what Congress is doing. Also, like this video, it really helps in the algorithm rankings. In this video, I'll be going over where we are on the CR negotiations of the second stimulus today, what's going on with the stimulus check in there, what's going on with the eviction moratorium, the mortgage forbearance, and then I'll be turning to $2,400 SSI and SSDI. I'll be turning to FPUC retroactive, $600 a week back to July. Oh yes. Multiple stimulus checks. Oh yes. All those details as well. Then I'll be turning to the states and the breaking news across the board with the states. And I'll give you a preview of what's going to happen on the video right after this one, Purple, in which I go over the cities and states that are announcing free rent and free stimulus checks coming out. It's getting good. And then I'll give you a preview of what's happening on Being a Mitch, which is right after Purple, about retroactiveness, that wonderful word we're just salivating, waiting for it to happen. Yeah, it's been 20 weeks, so they got a lot of money to pay up. I'm so glad you joined me. And now let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as we sit here today is that, wow, a week ago, we were urging to get stimulus in the CR. Got that done. Check that off the list for Purple Power. Then we were urging 3 deal provisions to get into the CR. Stimulus check, eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance. We had a couple people in our corner. Bernie Sanders, AOC, Elizabeth Warren, a couple of political presidential candidates from the Democratic Party whose names escape me, wrote a letter yesterday, 5 of them, saying we need a stimulus check in there, we're not agreeing to it. Josh Hawley, who I'll get to a second, who has really been incredible, the Republican out of Missouri, Bernie Sanders, and Joe Biden. And finally, the President of the United States yesterday. But the breaking news today is that our second and third deal provisions are now in play as well. Eviction moratorium, yes, new this afternoon. Mortgage forbearance, yes, newly in play this afternoon as well. And also something we weren't arguing for, but newly in play, rent aid, free rent. Really exciting. So where are we on all these deal provisions? What I want to make very sort of broadly simple for you is that it's not clean. It's a mess. It's literally, how would you describe it? It's like you're going into your cabinet to get out the Christmas ornaments and they all fell apart and they all fell out of the cabinet and they're just everywhere. That's sort of what it looks like in the moment. It's just like a hot mess. So what you need to understand is there's no one bill. There is no 2 memos. There's literally there's not even 3 memos now. I think there's 5 memos, 6 memos. It's just, everyone has a memo. I have a memo, you have a memo. There's a meme for the memo. So there's memos everywhere. And every hour there's another memo. Then the White House can't agree upon what they're agreeing upon. So they're changing their narrative literally every 20 minutes, which is good for us. And there is no we've agreed upon or they're only going to. There's none of that because no one can even agree upon their own position. So let me recap the different parties and where they are. The Democrats are not supporting, generally Democrats are not supporting anything. So the Democrats wrote a letter saying we're not going to support it unless this is $1,200 stimulus check. Nancy Pelosi has said I want a stimulus check, and Nancy Pelosi is rejecting Mitch. Mitch is rejecting Nancy. The president's rejecting Mitch and Nancy. Steve Mnuchin's rejecting everyone else. So everyone's rejecting everyone. What are the deal provisions at play? At play is a $1,200 to $2,000 stimulus check, says Representative Josh Hawley. He is the single most important voice so far, and I'll tell you why. He's a Republican. He's out of Missouri. He talks to the president almost every afternoon. Yes, this is really quite surprising. He's really one of the closest confidants with the president of the United States in these negotiations, and the president has made clear to him that the president wants a stimulus check, may veto it unless there's a stimulus check in there, and would likely go $1,200 to $2,000 an individual, whether an adult or adult dependent, for the single stimulus check. Multiply that for couples. So couple, $4,000. Family of 5, well, you do the math as well. If it's $2,000, then you would see $10,000. Those are the things at play there. There's at play rent aid, and that's a big amount of money. Eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance. There's at play in one spot FPUC for $300 a week. I don't see it happening. I think it's going to fall apart. There is at play in almost all the parts an extension of PUI and UI for 1 month. So what should you think about as you sit here today? You should be sort of open-minded about the situation. Understand no decision or agreement has been reached on anything. That's 1. 2, they're running out of time. They have to do this really possibly by today because the deadline is December 11th, and they have done things at the last second, but they usually don't do things to the final minute. The last time they did a CR, I covered on this channel, they got it basically done about 3 days ahead of time. So we're at 3 days ahead of time now. That's the second thing to think about. Third, the purple power needs to really step up. You can stamp as well as if you want to, and get the message out loud and clear. Stimulus check, eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance. Who do I tag? I get that question a lot. It's a great question. You want to tag your supporters, you want to tag the people on the fence, and you want to push back against your detractors. Your detractors are Cassidy of Louisiana. Your detractors are the problem creators. Your supporters are Warren, Sanders, AOC, Biden transition, Hawley, the president. And then your people on the fence are McConnell's chief of press secretary, communications director, and Mnuchin, because he's just a little bit all over the place. And there you go. So how about, what do I think is going to happen? I really just don't know. Um, Nancy Pelosi has actually started to talk coherently in the last 48 hours. And one of the things she made a great point about is that there's too many proposals now. And she's actually right. There's too many memos so that everyone is stepping forward with their opinion of the situation when no one can really agree upon anything. So I really do think that, one, a stimulus check is going to get in there. Two, I think that eviction moratorium is now going to get in there because they realize it doesn't cost anything. Three, moratorium for more foreclosures will get in there. I don't think rent's going to get in there. I don't think FPUC is going to get in there. But let me turn to $2,400 for SSI and SSDI. And I want you to stay tuned with me live on all the tapings today. If you've not subscribed, please do, because I'm going to go live as soon as something breaks. Let's tune to the SSI. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, what can you get? First, you need to stay with the later part of this video because I'm going to go over the free stimulus money available from your state. That does qualify for you as well. But what Joe Biden wants to give you, not now, but in January, if you're on those benefits, is about $2,400 to $4,000, $200 a month every month, starting now all the way to December of next year. And second, a lifetime increase as much as 20%. Then third, an annual increase based upon a new benchmark other than COLA. Remember, this is in addition to any stimulus check we're doing in the CR. So this is all really good news. Next, what's important to understand is that Joe Biden, is that the state stimulus I'm about to get to, you qualify for. State stimulus checks, rent stimulus, food stimulus, utility stimulus. If you are on SSI and SSDI, you qualify for those things as well. Stay tuned with those. I'm going to go over those in a second. Next, the other thing that is getting really exciting is what's going to happen in a few weeks from now. This is what Joe Biden proposes to give you in a few weeks from now. Multiple stimulus checks. A stimulus check every month until the pandemic ends or so needed. He's not giving you details about the number of checks, the amount of the checks, but he said he will continue to give checks as so needed. The pandemic's not expected to end until June. And I get this question a lot. It's a great question. Are they not going to give you relief if there's a vaccine in distribution? No. This is based upon there being a vaccine in distribution that you're going to get multiple stimulus checks. The stimulus checks would certainly end when most of America is vaccinated, which is presumed to be around May of next year or June. All exciting news. Then he wants to give you other stuff. He wants to give you hazard pay. I'll go over all those details on the video right after this. Hazard pay, CDC grant, EIDL grant, PPP, retroactive FPUC. Yes. So he wants to give you FPUC retroactive to late July at $600 a week. Now, what's important for you to understand here as we talk about the CR is the following. I have talked about tricks, and I'm concerned that this is a trick. And I saw the comments on Purple Bar Live last night. Viewers sort of agreed with me. Some people want to give you FPUC from now to the end of January under the CR. I think it's a trick because by giving you this month of December and January, we're really only January. They want to give you 3 weeks of FPUC, which would be about $900 instead of a stimulus check. I think it's a trick because ultimately, suddenly the person who owes you 20 weeks is giving you 3 weeks. And I just sense we go into January and we look to Joe and he's like, okay, well, I just worried that Republicans are going to say, well, we just gave you FPUC forward. We're not going to go backwards anymore. So this is why I don't think it's going to get in there. Now, how about the other things that are really exciting? These are the two other things that you really need to do. First, escalated state unemployment benefits. This has nothing to do with what's happening with the CR. So if you were unemployed at any time during 2020, whether you are employed now, but were unemployed before, you can do this. Last night on one of the videos, one of the viewers, I think it was Bina Mitch, the viewer said, I got $10,000 from Missouri because of you. Well, congratulations. This is how you do it. If you made $18,000 or more 2019, this is for you. You pull your 2019 tax return, you get it onto your computer, your phone, whether it's taking a picture or scanning it. And then you write a letter or an email to your unemployment office saying, hi, my name is James, and here is my tax return for 2019. I made $31,000 last year, and I'm currently being paid $100 a week. Please see if I qualify for additional weeks of benefits. You make the words very simple. Additional weeks of benefits, extra weeks of benefits. You don't use the word enhance unemployment benefits or escalated. You don't use complicated words. Use simple words. Extra, more, simple words. Send it off. Call them the next day. Call them the day after. This is how much money you'll get. If you've been unemployed for 30 weeks, and you made $30,000 or more 2019, you'll raise your benefits about $3,000, which is bam, $10,000 in your account. I've had 4 viewers in just about a week get that. Second, you made $25,000 or more in 2019, you'll raise your benefits about $100 a week. Bam, $3,000 in your account approximately. Then, if you made $18,000 to $25,000, you'll raise it about $50 a week. Bam, $1,500 right in your account. Next, let's turn to EIDL. This is really exciting because EIDL I don't think is going to be around much longer. This is what, the 9th? I don't think EIDL is going to be around much longer, so get the application on file. If you're an independent contractor, Grubhub, Airbnb, or any type of side hustle, when you apply, if that's you, when you apply, the applicant is your name, your social security number, your Schedule C, line 1 revenue, your Schedule C, line 2 gross cost of goods sold, your social security number, your bank account, your personal address, those type of things. One viewer made the mistake yesterday saying, the applicant is Airbnb. No, the applicant is not Airbnb. Another person, the applicant is Postmates. No, the applicant is not Postmates. You're the applicant. The words Postmates and Airbnb should be nowhere in the application because they're not the applicant. You're the applicant. SBA is not asking who your employer is because you don't have an employer. You're an independent contractor. Now, when you go to click the first page, one of the questions it's going to ask is, who is the applicant? Who are you? I don't know you, in my Mariah Carey voice. If the applicant is Airbnb, Uber, Lyft, or a side hustle independent contractor, the applicant is a single individual or independent contractor, sole practitioner. That's the button you choose. Do not choose small business. Small business is for an LLC or a corporation. If the applicant is really an LLC or corporation, then make sure you use an EIN, business account, business number, business address, and all that and more. Finally, the incredible great news is that there is money literally everywhere from your states. And what viewers are starting to realize is that the volunteers, this channel, which you can find at news.lalate.com, and that it's in the pinned links above to this video, news.lalate.com/community. That's the community page. Are absolutely incredible. There's about 10 volunteers, 9 for CARES Act 1 and 1 for EIDL, who are here to help you find the rent, the stimulus checks, and more. If you've looked and you can't find it, and you're like, I can't find it, ultimately you got to stay positive. Don't do this. Don't say there's nothing in North Carolina. There's nothing in Wisconsin. Well, there may be nothing from your state, city, or county, but there's something else. The volunteers who can find private organizations who are doing incredible things. Whether it's 2 organizations who are delivering gifts to people during the holiday season that can't afford gifts, yes. Or one community in Miami-Dade County that's giving out a $500 check, I believe it's $500, to people for food in just a few days. The volunteers are going over and beyond for the things that you would normally think about. Rent, food, utilities, and checks, all free money. It's important to understand is that they're here, I'm here, you're here. And thank you for the positivity and positive messaging throughout the day. As you see what unfolds with the CR in the next few hours, I want you to do this. Don't think that anything has been passed. Don't think that anything has been concluded. Don't think that any door has been shut on you, and don't think that the finalization has been effectuated. Because ultimately, every single day I seem to have someone that says, I thought it was extended. I thought they've agreed. I thought they voted. I thought it's been done. I thought it's just no. When it's done, I will tell you when it's done. Ultimately, I have my finger on the button, and for you, for now, keep your finger on the Supercuts coupon, because someone might need a Supercuts coupon by the end of this if she doesn't wake up very quickly. Thank you for tuning in. Join me in a few minutes for Purple, in which I go over your big money, stimulus checks from the state, stimulus rent from your state, and stimulus utilities. Then I'll go over hazard pay and more about SSI and SSDI. It's so exciting. I'm so glad you're here. And join me in just a few minutes. Stay informed, stay focused, stay smiling, and stay in my life for more.